Hey, this is Campbell from Ischemic. I'm here on the behalf of the band for the Antichrist magazine and subscribers of Antichrist magazine. We are a 5-piece band. We just like to jam and hang out and listen to obscure metal that takes us to the bottomless pit of abyss and makes us think about existence. Yeah, we all do that together, so that's what Ischemic is, as a band at least, yeah. And then we write music about all that stuff, yeah. So that's Ischemic, yeah. Meaning of Ischemic. It's a heart disease. It's has its roots in the original word, I believe, is ischemia, and it means it. I think it's a disease where your arteries in your heart get clogged up, and just cause a whole lot of problems because of that. Because yeah, you can't live with heart that's all clogged up. But I think it relates subconsciously. I think it works out for us as a band, because that word is not just about the heart being clogged up physically, but more about things from the past that end up just being buried down and not being looked after or resolved, and they add up, and then they end up clogging your mind and even heart, for that matter, if you're a person who thinks with the heart. And then it causes a whole bunch of other weird problems. So I think it relates a lot to our subconscious, that name. And I believe it was Isabelle, our vocalist, who is also a nurse, who came up with that name. That makes sense because she knows a lot about medicine. So ischemic, that's the meaning of the band name. The album we wrote, that's coming out April 2nd, is it's a self-titled album, as it says on the cover. But it's mostly because we want to keep things really simple. We all felt like we just want to just keep everything just minimal and simple. We're all pretty minimal guys, I think, in the band. We just like to have things that are just needed, just yeah. So same thing with the band name, it just comes down to, it just works out because it's ischemic, the band. And we had like a lineup change. Obviously, I'm the new guy in the band as a new drummer. I think they went through 2 drummers in the past, and they all had their own sound, and I have my sound, and so we kind of went back to the bare bone roots of what the band was about together. And I think that's why we named the band Ischemic. Named the album Ischemic, and kept it just simple and straightforward. Even the songs on the tracks on the album are talking about a lot of stuff that's simple, but it's heavy. Yeah, it's more than simple, but it seems simple on the surface and minimal. But that's what sometimes it's hard, because sometimes what's really simple is also the most heaviest thing that you might encounter. So that's where the inspiration for at least keeping the album title comes from. Other than that, we were jamming a lot before COVID, and the basement that we used to jam in really sounded raw and just, but in a good way. There was not like, it was not it was just really good. Like, everybody was feeling that basement, so we decided to just keep it that way. Everything just minimal. The other thing with this album, I feel, is all 5 of us got to express ourselves really well and in a perfect harmony and balance, because we all had something to say, and express with our instruments or songwriting or anything that we could bring to the table, even mixing for that matter. I mean, I used to be a fan of the band before I joined it. I used to go to their shows, so I always wanted to play around with how they would end up sounding, and I got to do that exactly. So, but then again, it was more of putting my own emotions and mixing and drumming in my own way, and so I got to do my part. And but I think everybody else did too. There's parts in the album where it is very like the whole band comes together as one. There are parts where everybody, some of us gives the other some space. Some of them hang out at the back when the other one is expressing themselves. And the cool thing is that we all have the awareness about it. So I think that really helps bring the album come together in a way that we all enjoy it. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. Yeah. As far as the lyrics goes, I can speak a little bit about it, because as a drummer, I follow the lyrics a lot and the vocalist a lot, because the way she spaces and structures her vocals decides how I end up drumming, and what pocket of the rhythm that I fit in, and make all those decisions. So I do end up listening to the lyrics a lot, and I find that the lyrics are really deep, but presented in a really simple and straightforward way. And I think that's what makes it even more deeper, because it's hard to do that. I think you gotta use simple words, but once they all come together, it's like it just invokes this whole train of thought in your head as a listener, and then you're just on this lyrical journey while the music is also there. So it's like you have the option to go on that lyrical journey. So I think it's really good. The other thing I like about the lyrics is that the content in it is actually pretty it'll take you on a ride, I think, because it has a lot of ebb and flow elements to it, because usually it's the music altogether has slow down and fast, and changes or whatever. But the lyrics, I find they go really straightforward in your face, and then they go all emotional on you. And so I find that with the heaviness of the music behind, it only adds a certain layer of emotion to it, but only when needed, just the right time. So I think that's how I feel about the lyrics. And Isabelle is a great vocalist, and her vocal tone really justifies all the lyrics. So I really enjoyed sitting back on the drums, just some of the words, like I believe in the song "Illusion of Humanity," there's a part where it just straight up, she just says existence, and that powerful existence, oh man, like that's something that energy I can take and put on my drums, and it's like wow. So yeah, as far as what they mean and what we're trying to express, I would say it's really just this hopelessness of being in this on this space-time grid, I would say, I guess, yeah, or whatever, and existing. And it's just that the lyrics just talk about that, and just it's a great way to express it. At least we get some sort of comfort expressing it through those lyrics, and we don't feel lost when we're playing our parts in the band. But after that we do. So, but that's when the lyrics come in and they help us out. So that's what the lyrics are mostly about. It's about just sheer struggle of being aware of yourself and your existence. Um, if Isabelle was here, she might be able to add some more to it. But as far as I've felt the lyrics, that's how I feel about the lyrics, and fortunately, it all resonates with all five of us because, yeah, subconsciously, I find when it comes to music, we're all on the same page. We listen to stuff that's very similar, even if we haven't heard of it before. We end up taking it because it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense, you know, like it's how we feel. So, yeah. Album art. Album art is very much inspired. Well, it's not even inspired. It's a photograph. It's a photograph of a mask that is made by a really talented artist named Marcella. She is, yeah, she is a one of a kind artist. She can paint. She can, make masks, and she's super, very visual with things, and her way of visualizing things is it's just a whole new plane it's a whole new dimension. And uh, I met her at a show that she put on, uh, which was a great show. It was a house show, so super fun. um, and that's where all these masks that you see on the album art were hanging up there. There was a bunch of them actually, and they all had their own expression. Obviously, they were trying to tell something with just the expression on them. And the one we ended up picking up was the one that went on the artwork, and that's the one we most resonated with as a band, which has like it had more of a gritty vibe, but at the same time, it's not just gritty for just being gritty. It's like you can see there's more to that just in that expression on the mask. So yeah, that's the choice we made out of all the other amazing masks that Marcella makes. Um, and then we went for just like a black background and gave it some depth because honestly, what's behind that mask, nobody really knows, and it could be anything. To me, it's personally, I think it's an ocean of void that's just you just don't know how far it goes. It's just infinite, and you can put yourself behind that mask, or put something else behind that mask. It could be just anything. So that's the whole artwork, the idea behind the artwork. And yeah, again, it just goes with the album title because it's just simple, just one expression that says a lot. uh, yeah. Label deals. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it depends on the band and the label. I guess I mean, if they are both on the same page and they both want the same thing, then I guess it's really helpful to have a label backing you. And I think I think the biggest advantage a label can get you is you can play shows with bands that you already like and are a fan of, and that are on the label, and connect with them, and hope that they check out your music, because that's the greatest feeling when a band that you're a fan of checks out your music and has something to say about it. So I mean, I think that's where label comes in real handy. But I mean, the music industry is always changing, so I don't really know. I mean, I can't really say much. It's just, sometimes it's better not to think about it too much and just go with the flow and do what's necessary when the time comes, Yeah. Yeah, we haven't booked any shows. We didn't even try to book any shows. I mean, the shows we had with our other projects that were lined up when we were writing the album got cancelled anyways. So there was no point booking any shows, or I mean, there was nobody booking any shows also. So that's a whole other thing. and it's also safety, right? So we gotta really tread carefully these times. So that's that. So no shows, but we tried to jam as much as we could, and did our best. Yeah. Epic fails. Well, I can tell you for sure I had an epic fail, and it's on the video on YouTube if you check out. If you just write in Ischemic filth live, my drumstick just flew, and fortunately it came back to me because I didn't have any backup, and I picked up the pace again. But yeah, it was happened during a build up of a song, like we were building up to a solo, and yeah, I just got too much into it, and yeah, decided to just float away in the abyss of whatever. Yeah. So that was my at least embarrassing moment. I'm pretty sure band would have had other embarrassing moments in the past before I joined them. So just ask us on Facebook, I guess. We'll share it with you. Yeah. New music that's inspired us. Well, one band that's always that I'm always a fan of, cannot get over it any day, anytime, till I die, is Dreadnought. And turns out their vocalist Kelly is also in a band called Bleakheart, so that's the band that I recently found out about, and without knowing that she was in it, and that was a great find because obviously I dug it right away. And so yeah, Bleakheart is one of them. There's also this band called ISM. They're from Canada. They're from here, Ontario, I think. Yeah. And there's the other band called Quatra. They're from, believe they're from St. Catharines, near the Niagara area. And yeah, these three have been huge. Like they have kept at least for me, kept me really alive with songwriting and everything, ambience of music, and just that inner child that wants to play shows and write music, So thank you to all those three bands. Yeah. Local music scene. Well, it's pretty diverse, I would say here. I mean, diverse in terms of genre. I would say every genre has its pocket and subculture and subscene, so it's like any other place. But I mean, I used to live in the city for a while, and I mean, we are originally from Toronto, but I ended up moving to a smaller town. Never fond of cities, but yeah, I find that cities are more about the bigger shows, and smaller towns are more about the local shows, and that's pretty much what the local scene looks like here, at least in my experience. And but the good thing is, like, you find a lot of bands in the local scene that are really good. I mean, they're just sometimes on a whole new level, and it's like you really gotta dig up when they're gonna come to your town and play, because I mean, you don't want to miss that, because you're in for something absolutely fresh and new. So that's something I love about the local scene, and I look forward to that. Yeah. Future plans for Ischemic. Well, first off, we just really want to get back to jamming. I mean, we are all dying to just jam and hang out and get back to our routine of seeing each other, because I mean, music is love. And yeah, we have it's been hard to not be able to jam, especially after really writing all this record, that we have all these songs ready to go, and now that we're out of the writing phase, we want to be in the jamming phase and get ready for shows, but we don't know when the shows are going to happen. Regardless, we just like to jam. So that's one of the first thing that we're kind of planning towards it, because we really need to plan that out, because otherwise there's lockdowns and there's other stuff that goes on, and if you don't plan it, then it's no more getting up one day and just trying to jam. So so we got that planned out for the near future. We're also gonna release some studio footage that we have, just stuff, our basement, whatever we had, and we're planning to release a single, hopefully after, maybe later this year or next year. Not certain when, but we would really like to do that, because we had some ideas floating around when we were working on this album, and I think we can use that for our single, and it'll be fun to write that single, because especially when there are no shows. So, well, there's more time to write stuff, so might as well do that. So yeah, that's our future plans, and just hoping that some sort of shows happen, so we can at least try to sell our merch and show our faces to people who really are looking forward to our new stuff, and have enjoyed the album, and have pre-ordered our stuff, or want to check us out live. And yeah, looking forward to playing with other bands if we can. We miss all the bands that we used to play with, and yeah, just hope all of you are doing well, and cheers from all 5 of us in the band, Ischemic. Yeah, enjoy. Have a good weekend. Cheers.